because the Trump administration has made this case a priority. The total lack of movement on this case in our nation.
September 14th, 2023. 6:47 a.m. Pacific Time. Federal agents surround a modest two-story building in Seattle's Georgetown neighborhood. The sign outside reads Community Advancement Initiative. Inside, volunteers prepare breakfast for homeless families. The director, Marcus Chen, age 52, greets arriving clients with practiced warmth. He has no idea his organization is a front for the largest fentanyl trafficking network ever discovered in the Pacific Northwest. The discovery that changed everything. It started 3 months earlier, not with Chen, not with his nonprofit, with a dead body in a shipping container at the port of Tacoma. June 2023, U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers conduct a routine inspection of cargo arriving from Manzanillo, Mexico. The container manifest lists industrial restaurant equipment, 20 stainless steel food warmers, 12 commercial refrigeration units, standard commercial goods. But something is wrong with the weight distribution. The container should weigh 8,400 pounds, according to documentation. The scale reads 12,100 pounds. A 3,700 pound discrepancy. Officers open the container. They find the restaurant equipment. They also find 680 bricks of compressed powder. Each brick weighs approximately 5 pounds. Laboratory analysis confirms the substance, fentanyl. Pure enough to kill millions, that single container holds enough fentanyl to produce 340 million lethal doses. The investigation accelerates. ICE Homeland Security Investigations takes the lead. They don't seize the drugs immediately. They let the shipment proceed under surveillance. They want to know where it goes, who receives it, how the distribution network operates. The trail leads to a warehouse in Kent, Washington, then to storage units across King County. Then to something unexpected, a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization operating in plain sight. The nonprofit that wasn't, Community Advancement Initiative, incorporated in Washington State in 2018. Its stated mission, providing transitional housing and job training for recently released inmates. Its tax filings showed annual revenues of approximately $1.2 million. Donations from private individuals. Small grants from local foundations. Everything appeared legitimate, but federal investigators discovered a parallel financial structure hidden beneath the public paperwork. Bank records revealed a network of 47 accounts spread across 13 financial institutions. Wire transfers totaling $98 million moved through these accounts between January 2021 and September 2023. The money came from shell companies registered in Nevada, Wyoming, and Delaware. It flowed through the nonprofit's accounts. It exited to recipients in Mexico, China, and Canada. The nonprofit served as a washing machine for drug proceeds. Every dollar that entered dirty emerged with the appearance of charitable legitimacy. Donations, program fees, service contracts. The paperwork created an illusion of legal commerce while industrial quantities of fentanyl moved through the organization's logistics network. Chen controlled it all, the man who spoke at city council meetings about helping the vulnerable, who appeared in local news segments discussing addiction recovery programs, who received a Civic Leadership Award from the Seattle Chamber of Commerce in 2022. He was running a drug empire disguised as social service. The scale of deception. Federal agents obtained warrants. They executed synchronized operations across 23 locations on September 14, 2023. Seattle, Tacoma, Kent, Everett, Spokane. The raids occurred simultaneously at 6:47 a.m. to prevent evidence destruction and suspect flight. What they found exceeded every projection. The Community Advancement Initiative building in Georgetown contained more than social services. Agents discovered a false wall in the basement. Behind it, a packaging facility, industrial scales, vacuum sealers, thousands of empty capsules, heat presses for brick formation, ventilation equipment to manage toxic exposure during processing. They seized 1,540 pounds of pure fentanyl from this location alone. A storage facility in Kent held another 890 pounds. Agents found the drugs concealed inside hollowed-out furniture marked for charitable donation. Dressers, dining tables, bed frames. Each piece of furniture contained compressed fentanyl bricks wrapped in plastic and vacuum sealed to prevent detection by drug-sniffing canines. A warehouse in Tacoma revealed the distribution hub. Shipping manifests documented 412 separate deliveries to addresses across Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and British Columbia over an 18-month period. Each delivery moved between 15 and 40 pounds of fentanyl. The operation functioned with the efficiency of a legitimate logistics company. Total seizure from all locations: 3,437 pounds of fentanyl. Street value estimated at $274 million. Wholesale value approximately $98 million. One operation. One nonprofit director. One network capable of producing 1.7 billion lethal doses of a substance killing 70,000 Americans annually. The enablers. Chen didn't work alone. Federal prosecutors identified 17 co-conspirators. Each played a specific role in the operation's architecture. 3 nonprofit board members provided the organizational legitimacy. Their backgrounds in social work and community development gave the organization credibility with donors and regulators. They filed false tax returns. They created fictional program reports. They manufactured testimonials from supposed program beneficiaries who didn't exist. 6 logistics coordinators managed the transportation network. They operated under cover of legitimate trucking companies and freight forwarding services. They handled pickups from the Port of Tacoma. They arranged deliveries to storage locations. They coordinated distribution to street-level dealers across 5 states. 4 financial specialists structured the money laundering operation. They established the shell companies. They managed the bank accounts. They created false invoices and contracts to justify wire transfers. They converted drug proceeds into cryptocurrency and precious metals for international transfers. 2 chemists operated the processing facility. Both had legitimate pharmaceutical backgrounds. One held a master's degree in organic chemistry from the University of Washington. The other worked previously for a contract drug manufacturing company. They mixed the pure fentanyl with cutting agents. They pressed pills designed to mimic legitimate pharmaceuticals. They maintained quality control standards that would satisfy any legitimate industry. 2 armed security personnel provided protection. Both had criminal histories involving weapons charges. They conducted counter-surveillance. They ensured shipment security. They intimidated anyone who asked too many questions about the nonprofit's actual operations. The organization chart looked like any legitimate business. The product just happened to be death. The human cost. While federal agents cataloged evidence and executed arrests, medical examiners in 5 states reviewed death records. They identified 127 confirmed overdose deaths directly linked to fentanyl distributed through Chen's network between January 2022 and September 2023. The victims ranged from 16 to 63 years old. High school students, college graduates, construction workers, retail employees, parents, children, people who thought they were buying prescription painkillers, people who had no idea they were ingesting industrial fentanyl manufactured in a nonprofit basement. A 19-year-old woman in Spokane died in her university dormitory after taking what she believed was Xanax, purchased from a friend. The pill contained 2.3 milligrams of fentanyl. That's 2.3 times the lethal dose for an average adult. A 34-year-old father of 3 in Portland collapsed in his bathroom after using what appeared to be cocaine. Post-mortem analysis revealed fentanyl mixed into the powder. His children found him. A 42-year-old nurse in Missoula obtained what she thought were legitimate Vicodin tablets from an acquaintance. She took 1 pill for chronic back pain. She never woke up. The tablet contained no hydrocodone, only fentanyl compressed to mimic pharmaceutical appearance. These aren't statistics. These are people whose last moments involved choking, convulsing, experiencing respiratory failure while their brains screamed for oxygen, death by suffocation while fully conscious. That's how fentanyl kills. Chen's operation didn't just distribute drugs, it manufactured corpses on an industrial scale. The arrests. September 14th, 2023. By 9:30 a.m., all 18 suspects were in federal custody. No shots fired, no high-speed chases, just coordinated apprehension executed with tactical precision. Chen was arrested at his home in Madison Park, an affluent Seattle neighborhood where houses sell for $3 million and above. Agents found $840,000 in cash hidden in his home office. They seized 5 luxury vehicles. They froze accounts containing $12.7 million in liquid assets. The man who claimed to serve the vulnerable had accumulated wealth that would take an average American 120 years to earn. Federal prosecutors moved quickly. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Washington filed charges on September 15, 2023. The indictment ran 89 pages. It detailed 47 separate counts against 18 defendants. Marcus Chen faced charges including conspiracy to distribute controlled substances resulting in death, operating a continuing criminal enterprise, money laundering, wire fraud, making false statements to federal agencies, witness tampering. If convicted on all counts, Chen would face a mandatory minimum sentence of life imprisonment without possibility of parole. The 17 co-conspirators faced various combinations of drug trafficking, money laundering, and conspiracy charges. Potential sentences ranged from 10 years to life imprisonment depending on their level of involvement and cooperation with investigators. The trial and sentencing. The case never went to trial. The evidence was overwhelming. The forensic accounting was comprehensive. The surveillance documentation was irrefutable. Defense attorneys advised their clients accordingly. Between January and March 2024, all 18 defendants entered plea agreements. Chen pleaded guilty to 8 counts in exchange for prosecutors dropping charges that carried mandatory death penalty consideration. On June 18, 2024, U.S. District Judge Patricia Harrington sentenced Marcus Chen to 3 consecutive life sentences plus 40 years. No possibility of parole. He will die in federal prison. During the sentencing hearing, Judge Harrington read from impact statements submitted by families of overdose victims. She paused multiple times. Her voice broke. She described Chen's operation as a betrayal of public trust unprecedented in scope and devastating in consequence. Chen declined to make a statement. He showed no emotion as marshals led him from the courtroom. The man who built an empire on death accepted his fate in silence. The 17 co-conspirators received sentences ranging from 12 years to 35 years. The 2 chemists received the longest sentences after Chen. The board members who provided organizational cover received 15 to 20 years each. The logistics coordinators received 12 to 18 years. The armed security personnel received 25 years each for weapons enhancements. Federal authorities seized all assets connected to the operation. The $98 million identified in financial records. The real estate. The vehicles. The equipment, everything liquidated to compensate victims' families and fund drug treatment programs. The Community Advancement Initiative building in Georgetown was demolished in August 2024. The site remains vacant. A memorial plaque lists the names of the 127 confirmed victims. The warning. This case closed. The defendants are imprisoned. The fentanyl was incinerated. But the threat continues. Federal investigators believe Chen's network was one of at least 8 major trafficking operations using nonprofit organizations as cover in the United States. The model is effective. Nonprofits face less regulatory scrutiny than for-profit businesses. They generate goodwill in communities. They provide legitimate cover for suspicious logistics and financial activities. The DEA estimates that 150,000 Americans will die from fentanyl overdoses this year. That's 410 deaths every single day. 1 death every 3.5 minutes. a mortality rate exceeding combat deaths in every American war combined. Most of those deaths will trace back to networks that look nothing like traditional drug cartels. They'll trace to operations hidden inside legitimate businesses, trucking companies, import-export firms, and yes, non-profit organizations claiming to serve vulnerable populations. The irony is grotesque. The same organizational structure designed to help people in crisis becomes the vehicle for their destruction. The same language of service and compassion masks industrial-scale killing. The same tax benefits intended to encourage charitable work subsidize drug trafficking operations. Chen's arrest demonstrated that federal law enforcement can penetrate these networks. They can follow the money. They can connect the evidence. They can bring justice. But they're playing catch-up against an enemy that evolves faster than enforcement can adapt. Every seizure creates temporary disruption. But the demand remains. The supply chains adjust. New operations emerge. New cover organizations incorporate. New Marcus Chens present themselves as community servants while building death machines in nonprofit basements. The question isn't whether another operation like Chen's exists. The question is, how many are operating right now in your city, in your neighborhood, behind facades of service and legitimacy? And who will stop them before another 127 people die?